Brought to you by Hug House Productions.
Hi, hello, listener of Never Morphed. If you like this show, I am convinced you are going to love The Newest Olympian by Mike Schubert. Why am I so certain? Because that's one of the shows that inspired this show. Real ones who listen to the credits already know. Each week, Mike dives into the Percy Jackson series, which I love, joined by guests who are longtime fans of the Rick Riordan series. If you haven't read these books yet, this is the perfect way to get started and read along with Mike. They're so good. And like Animorphs, they're kids' books that touch on way more serious topics than you might expect. And they're about worldwide mythologies, starting with Greek and Roman. I know you gays love mythology. If you have already read the books and know how good they are, you'll love this series too. The dramatic irony, man. And if you know about the books from the Disney Plus series, Mike has done interviews and conversations with some of the cast of the show on The Newest Olympian too. Mike is a great host, a great editor, and obviously a huge inspiration for me. You can find The Newest Olympian in the show notes or wherever you get your podcasts. Go subscribe right now and enjoy.
Brought to you by Hug House Productions.
Welcome back to Never Morphed and my conversation with sweet friend Fresco about Book 12, this Rachel-y book, this crocodilian book. The book is not crocodilian. It is made of paper or pixels if you are reading it in an ebook like I am. As always, you can find Fresco's work in the show description here. It's very good. I hope that you check it out. And as always, you can support me, which would mean a lot to me, at patreon.com/hughousepods, where I don't know if you know this, but at any level of support, you get access to our Discord server, which is, frankly, cool as hell. We really have a little community over there that is very fun, very supportive. I'm always sharing pictures of sweet baby Pastina, and I'm always talking about food and recipes and sharing music and talking about how much I love Skinamarink. I love Skinamarink, guys. It's a great movie. So if whether or not you like Skinamarink, you can join us on Discord by supporting us at any level on patreon.com/hughousepods. Any paid level, that is. I don't believe that free folks get Discord access because Patreon does not allow that. Otherwise, I would let y'all in too. But that is the way that the cookie fucks you, which is an inside joke for Valence listeners and maybe even just Valence creators. But that is the way the cookie fucks you. I shouldn't be talking about this in this tremendously horny episode / book. Let's get to it. Enjoy. We're reading this book like fairly shortly after all of the Neil Gaiman allegations came out in full.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and like, I don't want to come off as callous here, and that's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to say is that, like, I genuinely have trouble processing this. I did not feel any emotions when this happened. First off, we had already gotten, like, I was already aware of other allegations about Neil Gaiman that had come out through a podcast series before, like, lawsuits and what have you.
Right.
But also, like, I love a lot of Neil Gaiman's work, but because I've done so much research into how we think about celebrity, like, I just don't, I don't idolize people like that. And so seeing the fallout from it, the emotional fallout, is something that I've always, like, I just can't really comprehend it. That being said, we're also recording this not too long after David Lynch died, and that one hurt bad. And not so much because, like, I thought, oh, he's such a good person and he's gone now, more because I just can't fathom a world without potentially more of his art.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That's unfathomable to me. I also didn't really think that he could die. That that just didn't occur to me. Yeah, so this is just a very interesting book to read at this moment. Rachel back at home is, I think, watching Powerhouse with her sisters. Jordan is confirming that Jeremy Jason McCole is very hot and that she would go insane in order to be in a club with him.
I thought it was so smart that Rachel asked her that.
So smart. So smart. Like, that is exactly the kind of temperature taking you need to do for something like this.
It's also just really funny the way it's written is, if you thought there was some club you could belong to that would mean you might get to meet Jeremy she leaped up. What club? What club? What club?
She's fucking feral.
She's ready to join any cult.
Yeah. She also comments on Marco being cute. And Rachel is like, for the love of God, never say that to him ever.
It will make him too powerful.
Yes.
Can you imagine the level of teasing if Marco knew that Rachel's sister found him cute?
No, she would. It would be hell for her.
Heaven for Marco, hell for Rachel.
Yes. Though I do think there would also be secret agony for Marco being like, just one sister off. One sister off.
Like, Jordan, thank you. Can you pitch me to your sister?
Yeah.
Can you explain to her why?
Make her understand. Please. Rachel's mom leaves to go get groceries. So Rachel's in charge. And Rachel opens the window for Tobias in case he wants to fly by.
Yeah.
And then she's Googling Jeremy Jason McCole. Yes, God, his name is so fucking long. Jeremy Jason McCole. And she's just like Googling images of him.
She's also cheating on her homework, which
yes, of course.
Do what you have to do, Rachel.
Yes.
You are saving
as
the
an
world.
ex-teacher, by all means, girl.
This might be the book that made me aware of the tactic of changing like the font size and the margins to make a paper look longer.
Nice. So she finds out that Jeremy Jason McCole is going to be in town in 2 days for a week for some kind of traveling show. It's like a talk show, I'm guessing.
Is it supposed to be Regis and Kathy Lee?
I think so. I'm pretty sure. I also don't have a great grasp on what that show was
Me
like.
neither.
So.
It just sounds like, because it's like the Barry and Cindy Sue show, which sounds like the Regis and Kathy Lee show.
Yes.
I hope to God that I'm saying the correct names.
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah. And then so as she's looking at these images and feeling things, she can't breathe. And she sees that she is morphing the crocodile without attempting to, without realizing it, without initiating it. It is just fucking happening and she can't stop it.
Yeah, oh my God.
Terrifying.
I wrote, there is a particular kind of horror in Rachel losing control of both her body and the one thing that makes her feel powerful and safe.
Yes. This truly could not happen to a worse person than Rachel.
Yeah.
Like,
at a worse
my
time.
control issues girl.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, all of my notes for chapter 8 are in caps.
Yeah. We find out she's had dozens, maybe hundreds of nightmares about morphing.
Normal. And she's morphing. It's not on purpose. She can't stop it. And also, notably, she is not going morph back to human to a different morph. She's going morph to morph to morph to morph, which should not fucking happen.
I love that breaking that rule is not oh cool, we've unlocked a new power thing. It is a body horror thing.
Yes.
Of
yes,
like,
so fucking good.
There's so little in the world that these children can count on, and one of the rules they're supposed to be able to count on is how morphing works.
Yeah. And it's great because like I really didn't even consider that it could have been written in a way of like, oh, cool new discovery. Because the way that it's written is so terrifying.
Mhm.
And it's very cool that like they can just do that. Like they could have taken this in either way. It's not about the content of what's going on. It is all about the execution, and they really nailed it here.
Yeah. And God, there's a line, I wanted to scream for help, but who could help me? No one.
Yeah.
No one. And I said, logline for this fucking series.
Truly. Y'all gotta stop waiting on these Andalites. They're not coming to help you, man.
You guys need to read book 8. They're bad. God, there's some really good description, too, of her shrinking. It says, I was shrinking so fast that the corners of the room seemed to be racing away from me. The wood grain grew large and dark and clear. The cracks between boards were growing as wide as ditches. I said, love this, hate this.
Yes. Yeah, that's the other thing is that it's all happening way too fast.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This book has some...
It's terrifying!
This book has some really good visuals of all the horrible shit that happens in it.
Yes. And like the crazy like zoom in, zoom out of it. So then her room is on the second floor, which is above the kitchen. And she is becoming an elephant. And everything in her room breaks, including the floor.
I read that note of yours to my spouse as I was preparing to do this, and he said everything in her room breaks, including the room.
Including the room, yeah.
Just,
exactly.
God.
She falls to the ground in the kitchen on the first floor. She's in the rubble. She gets out of her morph. Her sisters are calling for her and they're very scared. She is able to be like, I'm alive. Is everyone alive? Is everybody cool? For a while, she's scared for one of her sisters and her mom because they're not answering back.
Yeah, God.
But the mom is grocery shopping. The other sister does call back eventually. That was terrifying. I really was like, oh man, little baby sister got crushed.
Right. Because I would not put that past these books.
No. I'm waiting for the day that one of them does fucking eat a little boy who fell into a crocodile pit, you know? Like
it was so close. She almost did.
She almost did.
God.
Like there's gotta be a moment at which they do terrible violence to a human person and have regrets. And I'm scared for when we get there, but I'm sure we're gonna get there.
And I will say nothing.
Yeah, that's fair.
God, I love just the way this book, it's got a really wild, just very fast pacing, which sometimes feels rushed, but other times just feels like, no, we gotta go, we gotta keep moving. And I love just the frankness with which it conveys that like the worst possible thing has happened. She has become an elephant in her bedroom and crashed through the floor of her house. It's a weirdly cathartic in the way that like horror movies can be cathartic of just watching the worst case scenario play out.
Yes.
Of just, oh my God, this huge thing that you would maybe think this series wouldn't want to approach because of all the implications of it. They just did it and it's happened and it's happening and it's over.
Yes. Yeah, no, this series loves the implications. This series is entirely invested on but the implications. God, and we'll get to some of that later on because I have some fucking questions.
I'm excited to hear them.
Ooh. So with this pacing in this crazy book, paramedics, police, and an ambulance shows up. The mom shows up. Rachel gets dug out of like the wreckage. She gets taken to the hospital, even though she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Cassie is there, and then Rachel's dad shows up, and there's this fucking hilarious moment where Rachel's divorced mom and dad are in the same room, and they literally go, "Hi, Dan. Hello, Naomi."
Fuck.
Like,
Trying
just fucking hate each other.
Exercising so much restraint to not kill each other in their daughter's hospital room.
Yes.
Also, I have written down, the fire department guys dug me out of the rubble. They kept telling me not to worry. What did they know? Had they ever suddenly turned into a crocodile? Had they ever had uncontrolled morphing? And I said, oof, 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 being reassured by adults who do not understand what you're going through.
Oh, yes. Oh my God. Worst feeling imaginable as a kid. Like, so fucking infuriating and so dismissive and so just like up your own ass. Like, fuck off. Ugh. Yeah.
God, also, Rachel's dad got on a plane because of the crocodile thing, and by the time he arrives, also a house fell on his daughter.
Is this when they start, everybody starts telling Rachel that she's so lucky?
I think that's either the next chapter or like these chapters are so short.
I know.
It's when she goes to school.
Right. I loved this through line. I thought it was so apt and so funny. So Rachel's dad, yeah, he shows up because.
Oh wait, no, you're right. Some of it does happen in the hospital room. The reporters. Like...
Oh, the reporters. That's right. So the dad comes because of the crocodile thing. And one, because his daughter is in peril, and two, because he knows that he can keep the media off of her.
Yeah.
Because he's a journalist. And she's like, yeah, they keep asking me these fucking idiotic questions. And they keep telling her, like, oh, you're so lucky. And she's like, no. No, I'm not. I fell in a crocodile pit, and then my house fell in on me.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact that I survived, that's not lucky.
Yeah. I don't have it written down, but there was one of them asked, like, how did it feel to fall in a crocodile pit and then have a house fall on you? Not very good.
Yeah. She's so funny. She's so funny, that whole conversation. I felt it, again, very deep in my bones.
Not to make everything about magicians, but this through line of like, you're so lucky, yeah, I'm so lucky, keeps making me think of, there's a scene in the film Penn and Teller Get Killed where Penn has been shot in the arm, and there's a bystander telling him like, oh, you're lucky it wasn't your head or something like that, or just telling him he's lucky that he lived, and he's like, yeah, I'm so lucky, Mr. Lucky just got shot in the arm.
Yeah. That is exactly the vibe. That's exactly it. So she's like, all these microphones are in her face, and the conversation goes, how did it feel to fall into a crocodile pit, then have a house fall down on you? Not very good, I answered. Don't you think you're incredibly lucky? No. If I were lucky, I wouldn't keep falling, right? But you weren't hurt either time. I think winning the lottery would be lucky. Having the house fall on me? That's not at all lucky. Dude, she's so right. And then, do you have any... I forgot. Do you have any advice for other kids like yourself? Yes, my advice is don't fall into a crocodile pit and don't have the house fall on you.
What could they possibly mean by kids like yourself?
Yeah, what? No.
You know, crocodile magnets.
Absolutely incredible. I love Rachel so much. She's so right.
I love that she's just not playing along at all. No.
Good for her. So the dad is like, okay, well, I'm in town. I want to keep the media off of you. I have a hotel room. Just come stay with me. The mom relents because it's a good idea. So Rachel gets to go have a fun hotel adventure, and I'm very jealous about it.
She does deserve it, though.
She really fucking does. She after this horse shit, yeah. So Rachel says, like, maybe what I should do is I should go on one talk show so that the others will just leave me the fuck alone. And he's like, okay, well, what do you wanna do? I can try to get you in. And she wants to go for the talk show by a guy and a lady with two names. Where
A lot of names in this book.
yeah, that's the thing. Where Joseph Jordan Jason McCracken, where Jeremy Jason McCole is going to be doing an interview. So she's trying to get in so that she can basically run interference somehow and also get to meet this cutie boy.
I am amused that she just outright tells her dad, like, there's this cute boy.
Yeah, straight up.
And I want to be on the
Good for
show
you.
with him.
Uh-huh. The dad's like, okay, I guess. So chapter 10, she's ordering a million room service. It's very funny. She's like, I want a burger, a salad, a milkshake, fries. Also, I don't want the salad. Also, can I have more things? Like, I love this for her. I
Uh-huh.
love it for her.
She deserves it. She's earned it.
She has.
Also, am I remembering right that this is like she's on the 22nd floor of this
Yes.
hotel? Holy shit.
Yeah, it's up there. So she's also panicked because if she elephants here, she's falling down 22 stories.
And killing like 22 people.
Minimum. Yeah. Oh, absolute fucking nightmare. Yeah, she really does deserve this huge assortment of food. Cassie flies in because okay, this is the other thing. Rachel can open a window
Like,
on
yeah.
the 22nd floor of a hotel.
I did not think
No.
about that until I saw it in either in your notes or your live reactions, and then I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, no, that's a liability issue, big time. No fucking way. 22nd floor.
22nd floor.
That is lethal floors up. That is fatal floors up. Come on.
I'm just picturing Cassie being like, "Can you open your window?" and Rachel just punching through the window. Yeah.
Also a very Rachel thing to do.
Windows open. Also, just
Yeah, she would. She would.
The mental image of an owl flying into the room.
Yeah, fucking wild. So good.
No one will know.
It's like the internal labyrinth. So Rachel gets Cassie caught up on everything.
She also reorders the salad so that Cassie can have the salad.
That's right. It's really cute.
There's a really good moment of Rachel's talking about how Cassie's such a good morpher. She looked almost normal as the feathers sank into her skin and disappeared. It didn't even seem too bizarre when her own legs grew huge and tall from the owl's short, deadly talons. It was her head that changed last. Cassie has the ability to do that, sort of control the order things morph. I can't even come close. Even Axe can't do it. Finally, the big owl eyes became Cassie's own deep, dark eyes. So just the image of Cassie standing there with an owl head is very good.
Very good. Very good. More really good like best friend moments here too.
Yeah. Rachel's trying to like gloss over what happened and Cassie's like, I know when you're lying to me.
Yeah. Rachel tries to lie and be like, anyway, everything's normal, and Cassie is like, shut the fuck up. It's so good. So Rachel fills Cassie in on everything. Cassie agrees that they don't have to tell Jake immediately because Jake is so scary when he's mad.
Girls no.
I know. Like,
Gang, this is bad. This is so bad.
This is so bad. They're all constantly doing this shit.
This
is like their collective fatal flaw.
Yeah, as much as I love this series, it does get very talk to each other.
Yes. It's a little exhausting at this point.
A little bit.
We need more interpersonal and internal conflict that isn't just fucking talk to each other.
That isn't
like, they should know this by now.
Yeah.
It's getting a little old.
I do have sorry, I'm like scrolling through my notes as we go.
No, that's
Says,
great.
I signed the check and added a tip. See, I'd visited my dad in hotels before. I knew the routine pretty well. And I wrote, she's so grown up.
She is so grown
That's
up.
so cute and tragic. Anytime, like, so many of these moments would have registered to me as either completely normal or like, whoa, that's cool. They're grown up when I was like 8 and reading these. And now I'm like,
Right.
oh my God, she knows how to sign a check and leave a tip.
Right. Like, oh, in retrospect, that's very sad, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you have to do it, Rachel? Is your dad often not there when you visit him?
Right. Right.
Unless she just means she's seen him do it. I don't know.
I don't know.
But-
I don't. I think she's had to do it.
Yeah.
Oh. So Cassie says they do have to talk to Axe, and Rachel agrees to that.
Which, wild that they think Axe won't immediately tell Jake. Because, like, this is...
Oh, yeah.
This
I didn't
isn't-
even think of that either.
This is not an Axe secret. This isn't book 8. He has no reason to not tell Jake if they tell him.
Yeah, completely. Completely. So their plan for tomorrow is it's a plan minus Rachel in theory. Is that they're gonna go investigate Jordan Jesse Go, JJ McCullough.
Oh, wait. The end of the previous chapter is where my book switched to third person for a second.
Oh, this is the end of chapter
Chapter 10?
Okay.
I think.
Let me look.
It says, on a yacht, huh? Rachel mused.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, no, mine too.
Yeah,
I didn't even catch that.
that is so strange. Like, do you think they wrote this in third person and then changed it and missed one? Or...
No, I think it was the opposite. I think that they probably wrote it in first person.
and just accidentally
like,
inserted...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know as a writer, for me, and I'm sure this like varies person to person quite a lot, but I default to writing in third person. I was always taught that writing in first person is more of like a young adult, middle age, what have you reader.
Right.
And so I know that they've written more than Animorphs. So I wonder if they are just used to third person and having to put on first person for this series
Oh,
and
that
just
makes sense.
accidentally flopped back.
That would make sense, yeah. Mine is always
Mhm.
tenses, because I used to write only in
Oh, yeah.
past tense, and now I write mostly in present tense, and I'm constantly finding, like, a paragraph where I did the wrong one.
Yeah. My next audio drama series takes place in 3 different time periods and also has a sort of storybook fairy tale like narrator, and the tenses are so fucking hard.
God, we have kind of a similar thing, because we have narrators talking to our audience in the one that we're writing, and it gets very, like, oh God.
Yeah, I'm straight up gonna have to. I think I'm probably gonna hire my friend who is a copy editor and just be like, Grace, please. Grace, can you just put this all in the same tense, please?
Help me. Yeah.
So they're gonna go investigate Jeremy Jordan on a yacht owned by a producer, and they think that the producer is the controller. So this is their plan. They're gonna go after school. And in chapter 11, she fucking goes to school.
Yeah, wild.
Why?
Why are her parents making her go to school? A house fell on her.
I honestly just expected that she just chose
Yeah.
to go to school. That's crazy. Your day yesterday was too much. You need to go home.
Or, like, just lie in the hotel and eat more room service.
Yes, go to the fucking pool.
I wonder if she's like, I gotta get off this fucking 22nd floor.
Girl, just go lay on the grass
Lay on the
somewhere.
grass. God. Also, her dad comes in from the next room at 4 a.m. to tell her that she woke him up talking in her sleep, which, oh my God, I would be so scared if I was an Animorph, because I talk in my
Right?
sleep sometimes. Be like, I'm gonna reveal some shit and somebody's gonna kill me.
Yeah. And she was even saying, like, crocodile, not alligator.
Yeah.
Like, she could have been like, I'm an Animorph and I changed into human forms. Now, luckily, I think that most of the beans they could spill could just be seen as like, oh, she's having a crazy dream.
Yeah. She's having a crazy dream because a house fell on her.
Yeah.
which is what he thinks is happening.
Right. She got wicked witched.
Uh-huh. She got wicked witched.
I can't believe that she fucking went to school. Girl, no. And everybody is like making a big deal of it. And then luckily by lunch, nobody's talking to her about it because she will kick their asses.
I wrote down, I guess you think you're cool just because you nearly got killed twice in one day, one girl said. And I said, is this how children bully each other?
Honestly, yeah, that does kind of, it does kind of feel accurate.
Oh, no. I'll believe that.
Yeah. And then she gets called into Chapman's.
Yeah, that's so scary. There's a line of...
so scary.
I walked the empty hallway, clutching my hall pass and wondering how I was going to escape if Chapman was waiting for me with a bunch of Hork-Bajir warriors.
Yeah!
My God. Also, I think these books do a really good job of being, like, I think at least subconsciously relatable to normal kids. Because, like, I assume if you get called to the assistant principal's office, you are going to be full of dread, wondering what's going to happen when you get there. And like, oh God, what did I do?
Oh, yeah.
Am I in trouble?
This has happened to me more than once.
Oof.
And yes, it is absolutely fucking terrifying.
Was your assistant principal waiting with a bunch of warriors to kill you?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
no.
I died.
That's crazy.
I know. It took me a while to get better. And that's why I couldn't read Animorphs. I was too busy being dead back then, you know?
That makes sense.
I don't know what it is about Chapman, but all of his dialogue to me, I always read it like he is like a high school mean girl. Like he is Regina George. I don't know why, but everything he says lands like that to me.
I think it adds something, yeah.
Yeah, for me, the way that this conversation went is she comes into this office and sits down and Chapman is like, wow, that's so cool how you survived all of that with no injuries. And she's like, yeah, it's crazy. And he's like, yeah, that's so crazy. That's so curious. And she's like, yeah, no, it's fine. It's not suspicious. And then he's like, oh, funny you say that. I hear that your grades fucking suck now. And she's like, I have A's. And he's like, barely.
God. That is such a wild thing to say to a child. Like,
it's crazy. Like, I can't tell if this is something in my brain that's wrong with me that I'm reading him like this, or if straight up this is just who he is at his core. That Yerk is a bitch.
I think the shoe fits.
Right? And then he's like, is something wrong at home given your grades are slipping? And she's like, no, everything is fine. And he's like, oh, that's so funny because actually I hear that your parents got divorced and your dad fucking left. Like, Chapman, what the fuck?
So much shit happening to Rachel that doesn't even register.
Right. So his game plan here is he's trying to get her to join the sharing. And as we find out in chapter 12, this shouldn't be funny, but it's really fucking funny. He thinks that she's suicidal.
God. It's like, yeah, she did. Like,
it's a valid read.
Yeah. Also, his thing of like, yeah, you barely have an A average makes me think of, I don't remember what social media platform I saw this on, but somebody was talking about how they submitted an assignment for school like a few minutes before the deadline, and the teacher like either marked them down or rejected it completely and was like, submit it earlier next time.
That's so fucked.
That's what he's doing here, of just like,
yes.
Yeah, you have A's, barely.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I hope teachers like this all die now.
I hope that it turns out they're all yerked, and when the yerks leave, they become good teachers.
Me too. That's actually, yeah, that's better. I also hope that in real life.
I wrote down Chapman's yerk using just normal real life cult recruitment tactics, calling students into his office when their grades are down to ask about problems at home and pitching them on the sharing.
Dude, for real, like 101 cult recruitment shit. Like, oh, look, you're vulnerable right now. Perfect.
Just
Ugh.
making really good use of the fact that he's working at a school.
Yes.
Just evil.
So while they're having this very uncomfortable conversation, Rachel feels herself start to morph, and she hears a snap, and it is the shoelaces on her shoes because she now has bare feet. Her shoes is broken because she's a grizzly bear, but only in the foot region.
Is this the second time that she's had to play it cool in front of Chapman after her feet exploded her shoes?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's such a specific thing to happen twice.
It really is. At least this time, she gets away with it. She walks away, and he sees her feet, which are bare feet. And she just turns around and she's like, yeah, you like my new kicks?
God, that's such good improv, Rachel.
It's so good. I do have one follow-up question. But her shoes are seemingly still under his desk, right? Like,
I think it said she put them in her backpack really quickly.
Oh. Yeah, but like, okay.
How do you do that without
noticed?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
or like, wouldn't he have noticed that she wasn't wearing bare boots when she walked in?
Right, but hey, he buys it and he's like, yeah, you kids are into some crazy fashion.
Yeah.
It
God,
works.
we need to talk about this conversation that they have, though. This is, oh my God.
Yes. Yes.
On the funny end of it, there's just a month or so back, we had a big water skiing trip up to a mountain lake. I could have said, yes, I know, we were there too, but not exactly in human shapes.
Yeah.
Was that in one of the books? Was that like the logging book or something?
This was the book. I'm pretty sure this was the android.
Oh, okay.
Because they have that big party at the beach. I think it was like water skiing.
Oh,
and
okay.
That's the party that they go to, and then the android finds them there because they fucked up really bad.
Okay, I missed that was where that was happening.
I'm pretty sure, at least.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
God. But, okay, we both had the same reaction to this. How did I look on TV, I asked. Very self-possessed, very attractive, and very mature.
Right.
Cool. And I said, attractive?
Yeah, no. Mature? No.
Absolutely not, sir.
Go to prison. Go to prison. I'm an abolitionist, but go to prison right now. I have had teachers say things like that to me, and those teachers should also go the fuck to prison. Mm-hmm. Disgusting. Hi, if you are a young woman and you are listening to this podcast, or like a young femme person or whatever, or just a young person, if you're a young person listening to this and somebody who is a full-ass adult tells you that you look attractive and or mature, you need to kill them with a knife. I'm sorry. No, you don't. Don't sue Hug House. Oh my God.
you you need to get away from them very fast.
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
And don't say that Hug House told you.
Yeah, please.
I guess this is maybe a really good way of conveying to children that that's red flag language, because this is explicitly a predator trying to lure her into a cult.
Yeah, I like that. For sure.
It was just very startling to read as an adult.
Yeah, did not like that. That one bit. Disgusting.
When he's asking if, like, implying that she's suicidal, in her narration, she said, "Did he think I'd sawed through the floor of my house too?"
Right. I also love the idea that she's like on this field trip at the crocodile pit, sees this little kid jump over, and she's like, "Oh, sick. Good idea.
Good idea.
Me next, baby. Let's go."
I've been trying to decide how to do it. I think it's the crocodile pit.
It's got to be the crocodile pit.
My God. Her shoelaces start snapping, and I know you say everything is fine, Rachel, but snap. He frowned. What was that? Snap. Nothing, I said in a squeaky voice. Which Kalohi's advice for Rachel in this moment was like, that's when you also go, yeah, what was that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's much better. That's much better. Nothing is pretty much the single worst thing you could say in that situation. The single most dubious thing you could say.
Which, understandable, she's panicking, but...
Very, very panicking.
It's so funny, just some of the language in this book of just like, nothing, and they're like, look, over there!
Yeah! This is both like a sad book and a deeply unserious book.
Yes, which I think is a good combination for Animorphs.
Yeah, this one was shallow, but it was yum yum, It was like a nice little snack.
Yeah, because like in the same chapter, we get, I was shaking more than I had from falling into the crocodiles the day before. After all, a crocodile can only kill you. Yeah. Also, really interesting language. Chapman is a Yeerk. She says he is a Yeerk.
Yeah.
This is something that like I'm intrigued by in this series is the conflation between the hosts and the Yeerks in them.
Right.
And like, I'm sure some of that is like economy of storytelling of not constantly having to use extra words, but it also just feels very, very like these children are having to think of these prisoners of war essentially as the enemy. Otherwise, they cannot do anything.
Right.
So
and I think especially Rachel, like you kind of, if you're going to be doing the kinds of things that Rachel is doing and feels she must do, like you kind of have to dehumanize your opponent.
Yeah.
I
think it's especially tragic that like this is her friend's dad.
Yeah, and she's seen him break through this.
Yeah, and she presumably knew him before he got Yeerked. I think that was implied in her first book.
She did. She
did.
did.
So this is just like, I'm thinking about like my elementary school, middle school, high school best friends, and like the relationship that I had with their parents was just like, oh yeah, my friend Caroline, her dad, one time I was on a vacation with them and everyone else wanted to watch a scary movie. It might have been like The Lovely Bones or something that I didn't want to watch in a cabin in the woods. So her dad and me went upstairs and just watched a Doctor Who together.
Nice. Like, that's very cute.
So the thought of having to like think of my friend Caroline's dad as like, nope, he's the enemy now. He's a Yeerk.
Yep.
It's deeply tragic.
Yeah, it's really fucking sad.
Yeah. It's
and
really
it's also very Rachel.
Really fucked up. It's very Rachel.
Yeah.
Nevermorphed is hosted, edited, and produced by Will Williams. Our theme music is The Chase by Joey Hendricks. Our title is by Eddie Feely, and this podcast would not exist without Mike Schubert's podcast, Potterless and the Newest Olympian. You can find his works at shub.es, that's shub.es. Nevermorphed is a proud member of Hug House Productions. You can find more at hughouse.productions and follow us on Tumblr at Nevermorphed. Get morphin'!